Since I got this book when the year had already started, I'm going to start with the February so that I can be doing my records on here on February. This one. So we'll go to February. So on this paper you can see I've written this is week 1 and today is on April 27th to May 4th. That is on Sunday. That is when the week ends. So we have day, capital, items, sales, expenses, profit and reinvestments. On Monday, today is on Monday, I have a capital of 2,000 shillings. So I know in the market I can get 7 items with this 2,000. Now we'll account for these other things when I come back in the evening. But what I know that the goal this week is, it's to reinvest. This one is the most important part that I want to do. So this is how the calendar for week 1 is looking like. We'll proceed as we're doing week 2 and see how the business is growing. So we'll eventually proceed with doing such an analysis week to week and see how the business is growing, how the business is doing, and how I'm doing in the business. So the main goals this week is to reinvest. I just want to reinvest all my money. After I buy new items, make sales, reinvest that money. Reinvest, reinvest, reinvest. So this week, so I'm going to write down the week's goals. Week 1 goals. The main goal is to reinvest. At the end of the week, I expect maybe the reinvestment to give me a certain type of profit. Maybe on Saturday after I've reinvested enough, because this week is an end of month kind of week, so clients may be requiring so many items, nice things, so that's a plus for us. And what I want to achieve this week is also to pay my rent. So my rent is 4,500 shillings. The other thing I want to do this week is buy a jerrycan of water. Buy a water jerrycan. This is 1,000 shillings. So this week I'm aiming for an expense, personal expense of 5,500 shillings. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinvest first. From Monday, today's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm just going to be, the sales I make, the items I get to sell, I reinvest back the profits so that I can accumulate more stock. After getting more stock, I'm always, and one thing I've learned, let me write down those lessons. Lessons 1. In case I didn't tell you what I do as a person, I do thrifting. I thrift second-hand items. That is second-hand items, clothes, dresses, and I resell them for a higher price in the Nairobi CBD. What I do, I go to Gikomba, look for some items, and then go to the Nairobi CBD, walk around there, and resell the items. Sell dresses that are good for evening dinners, events, and even parties. And what I've learned so far, because I've been doing this for a maximum of, it's like a month, though I've not been consistent. This week I want to be very consistent, because consistency is everything. I solely learned things, the other thing, repetition. Let's say the lessons I've learned so far is that quality over quantity. Let me write down here so that I can remember. Always remember to have it's better to have 2 good items and sell them rather than having 10 bad items and ending and just making 1 sale. So whenever I go to the market, I try to remind myself, quality over quantity, because that is very important. let me give you an example. I go to the market and take four dresses that look pretty nice. I make a sale of all of them. That is, I'm going to get a profit. Mostly I get my items for 300 shillings, so on every dress I'm going to make 200 shillings. That is a profit of 800 shillings, minus, after you remove the expenses, maybe it comes to 500 shillings. And assuming I went to the market, got four dresses for 200 shillings. Now I sell only one dress. It covers only the expenses. Do you see what I'm saying? So always remember, quantity over quality. Quality over quantity, sorry. Quality over quantity, that is everything to me. In the dresses business especially, because ladies prefer top-notch items that look nice, fashionable and elegant. Nothing short of that. So elegance, I don't, as for me, I know the target market for me is young ladies. I don't sell to women, but some of the dresses fit both natures, but mostly my target market is young ladies, let's say from 20s to 30s, 20s to 35, because I also sell long dresses, elegant, yeah. So the first lesson is quality over quantity. That is the most important lesson. The other thing I can say, quality over quantity, that is the only lesson. Imagine, that is the best lesson I've learned. And consistency is everything, because I cannot go to the market today, look for dresses, and then tomorrow I rest and then consider myself to be able to raise up this rent. So the goal today is, the goal this week is to reinvest and buy a water jerry can and pay my rent. That amount is 5,500 shillings. Those are the expenses for the rent and water jerry can. And at the end of every week, I'll be doing a sit down to see whether I achieved my weekly goals or did I not achieve them. So this is the entire look of how the things look like. This one is the one I told you, the week one. These are the goals, and this is the thing I remind myself: quality over quantity every time, and consistency is very important. So yeah, we'll catch up in the evening as I fill out these spaces, the sales I've done, the sales I've made, the expenses I've got, the profit, and what I'm reinvesting back into the business, so that we can learn and grow together. So that's it for today's video. If you like this type of content, if you're on a financial journey too, you do your best. Remember, quality over quantity. And yeah, that's it for today's video. In case you like this type of content, like, share, subscribe. Yeah, that is a lane for you.